Today, we are going to talk about the Form I-130 on how we filed it online and what are the evidences that you can submit with the USCIS Form I-130. In this video, we are going to talk about that. So let's dive in and let the journey begin. Hello everyone, my name is Emmary.
And I'm William.
And this is our channel, Powerful Couple Journey, where we talk about immigration process, especially for those J1 teachers like me who happen to have their loving US citizen spouse and now living here in the US. We are really happy to share to you our ideas about how we file our Form I-130.
That's right. So the Form I-130 is actually relatively simple. You do it online through the USCIS website. They have a portal there. And what you're in essence doing with this form is you are describing all of the different ways that you and your Filipino wife are commingling together in your coupling. You start with just the basic things like if you have any bank accounts together. We had a joint checking account together. We did that. We also jointly owned a vehicle together. And there was, of course, subsequent insurance that was also joint that went along with that as well. We also had a church membership that was done jointly. Later on, there were some more things. There was a rental house that we had together in our names. There was also some investments that we started that were also in our names. And in addition to all these commingling things, you're also going to send them almost like evidences of your love story. We sent them photos of when we were dating. We sent them photos of when we were engaged. We also sent them photos of our wedding. We got married in a church.
Yes.
Okay, and that I recommend that. In fact, I recommend doing that again against like going to the court, justice of the peace, and all that. It just carries more weight that way. But us being believers in Christ, we wanted, of course, get married in a church. That was like not an option for us. We wanted that. But it just helped in our case.
We have a reception after.
We had a reception after. We had pictures from that.
Yes, and we
submitted.
Families, especially mostly Filipinos that are present in that gathering. Even though we don't have our blood family there, we just happen to have them on Zoom, and the other one is on Skype. Especially my mom is still in the Philippines,
yes,
and his dad is in Colorado, and he has some health issues going on, so we happen to have them like with the new technology now that you can really have your families like see you in a live wedding venue.
And they got to witness our wedding that way. And I think we even uploaded some photos of them watching as well. Yeah, it really compiled a lot of things. The goal is to, my recommendation is overwhelm them with evidence. I mean, I thought of every single thing I possibly could. We even had some, I think I mentioned investments. We've even got some life insurance policies where, like, for example, she's the beneficiary of mine. I'm the beneficiary of hers. I made her the beneficiary of my 401k at work. This, I believe the sole one too, if I remember correctly.
And the Form I-130, it is the petition for alien relative, and I am the alien relative of my US citizen spouse.
Right.
We did it online filing because it's really recommended by the USCIS, and it's faster that way compared to the paper filing. However, we had all the documentations through the Form I-130 pre-filled online, and then we need to print it out for his signature in black ink. And then we have to go to USPS or UPS to have it submitted to the USCIS with their service center.
That's right. And you always want to send this document and any document that you're doing in this immigration journey with some kind of a tracking number. Whether it doesn't matter which entity you're using, whether it be post office, UPS, FedEx, DHL, any of them guys, send it with a tracking number, because those papers are like, that's life and death right there.
Yes.
You got to have it tracked.
Exactly.
In case it gets lost, you can reclaim it somehow.
Yes. And the Form I-130 almost likely to get approved. All you need to do is to give them a bunch of evidences that is unique to your case, and at the same time, make sure that you pay the right fee. That way, you don't have to have problems in the long run We use money order for that.
That's right. Money order is very safe.
Whether you can do it through credit card or the other one, which is check, but credit card has a fraud problem, so they might not get it.
Yeah, somebody ran into that a while back. Why that would even happen with a government agency, we don't know. That's why it's safer just to use, like a money order. Now, the I-130, once you've got it all filled out and you've, bombed them with as much evidence as you possibly can, and I recommend this, even if it's something you think is insignificant, like you and your wife are a member of that record club. I know that's really old school sounding, right? But even if you're a member of one of those, online record clubs or something like that, who cares?
As long as it shows commingling.
Commingling, yeah. It doesn't matter how major it is, how minor it is, included.
Yes.
So after this has been processed, it takes about almost 2 years for them to get around to giving you what's called an in-person interview.
Always look at the processing time with the USCIS online portal, because that's how you are going to track your evidences. Also, use a USCIS case tracker. It's an app that you can see. That way you know when you file it, when you received it, and always think of the priority date in your Form I-797 notice. That is through the mail that they're going to send to you, because that's when they are going to start your processing of the documents you have submitted through the Form I-130 online. My husband is saying that we need to have it, all the evidences, but most likely the most important ones, because you need to scan them and then put it in their online portal, and they have like a maximum MB that you can submit. So just make sure you have the wedding photos, your marriage certificate, you have your important documents like commingling that he said, and then there is a moment that they will have to send you an invite for an interview. It might be happening right away through your USCIS case tracker, or you can receive it through mail. Make sure your address is up to date. That way you can receive every documents you have through your current address. And when it comes to our case, it happened to have our interview after a year and 4 months.
That's right.
Then we have our interview in the Jacksonville office.
Jacksonville field office.
Because we live in Florida.
So it's the interview process is very important. Okay. So what happens during this time is you're going to get invited to whatever the closest field office is in your particular area. For us, it was Jacksonville. I was smart because of where we live. I did not want to drive up there on that morning of. So we spent the night literally 3 miles, 3 minutes, I think it was actually, from the field office. Okay, we wanted to make sure we made that meeting on time. And now what's going to happen is obviously you're going to accumulate some new evidences that they don't know about. So you bring that with you. So I brought my whole briefcase. And by this time we had accumulated a couple other things. Now we owned a house together, not just renting. I had my last will and testament drawn up. So I had that all finished, and I had her as the first beneficiary, and then in the event that we perish together, my brother was the secondary beneficiary, or the contingent beneficiary. And I think we had a couple other investments by then as well. We had that. We had some more bank accounts together. We had a couple of new things that they didn't know about. So you come in, they do a security screen of you. Obviously, they have to. It's a government building. And the lady will call you in, or man, whoever it is, will call you in for your interview. And what you do is you sit down with your spouse, and they'll ask you basically, okay, when did you guys get married? They just recap a couple things, okay? Then they'll ask you, well, what new evidences do you have of your coupling?
Yes.
And that's when I bring out my briefcase and I show her the house deed. I show her some new other life insurance policies, new investments, and then I show her the will. And I said, my wife is the, beneficiary on my estate. And that's all she needed to see. She was impressed. She was happy with what she saw. My wife had this organized binder of other things that were in there. And also we dressed nice.
Yes.
You should dress nice. Just to, do a good presentation for these people. And, she approved it.
Yes.
Right then and there.
We had approval right on the spot.
Yeah.
And here's what you have to always remember. Whatever documents that the USCIS sent to you through mail, bring them all and
Everything.
read all the fine details. I really forgot during that time to have my Form I-693, which is the medical records. And then she pointed out to me that it is in the letter that says bring all documents that you are missing, especially that this is an interview, which is very important during the time since I also filed for my Form I-485 adjustment of status. Good thing I mentioned to her that I'm still in the process of doing my waiver. I have the photocopy screenshot of my Department of State received online portal with a case number that says pending. So all of those, I showed it to her and she's very nice. She gave me a courtesy letter that is asking for my Form I-693.
Right.
Now this year, 2025, it's no longer going to be that way. They are very strict now, so you need to file your adjustment of status together with your medical records, which is the Form I-693. So we are blessed in the year 2023 when we have our interview, and it's really happening quickly, and we really prepared and prayed for an approval on the spot.
And I remember that thing about the medical thing that you were talking about, the I-693. I remember we made an appointment. There was a doctor in an adjacent city, handles all these kinds of cases like this. We went there.
And we got that done, and then everything rolls into place. Remember the Form I-130, once you're married to your U.S. citizen spouse and it's legal and you do it the right way, it will be approved on the spot. Gather all evidences, even plane tickets, love story, and all the cards that you have, birthday cards if possible, bring them and make sure that you really are dressed up, willing to have the interview. And the interview is very easy anyways. It's just asking about the birth date of your husband, when and where did you meet, how did you meet, and all those questions that are really relevant to your unique case.
I remember the lady we had in the beginning, she was very stern, as they always are. Because you're just another case to them. But then you sit down and they get to know you and they see how put together you are with all your stuff and how organized you are. And before you know it, they're laughing and smiling with you.
Yes, that's
and they're
really
very happy,
true.
and they're more than willing to help you get your case approved because they show you've shown them you've put in the effort and the work and you're serious about it. It's not just some game you're playing.
Yes, and I'm so happy during the time because this USCIS officer is very nice to us in a way that she never did separate us in a room.
Yeah, sometimes they do that.
Yes, if you are separated in a room, it's a red flag already. So make sure that you pray you will be together in a room, interviewed by the USCIS officer, and make sure that you answer the question like straight to the point.
The reason the separation into a different room is a red flag is because that means that there's suspicion of some kind of fraud on your part, and they're trying to sniff it out. And the surefire way to do that is to separate you guys and then interrogate you separately. And then if your answers don't match, well, then you're in trouble.
Exactly. And our interview doesn't even had an hour. It's just a few minutes that we're there.
Yeah, it went by pretty quick.
Very quickly. And then she started with the Form I-130, and then she kind of tackled a little bit with my adjustment of status. And then after that, we got approved. Everything is set. She sent me a courtesy letter for my Form I-693 medical records. And then we went out there with a smile because we got it on the spot.
Yes, we did. I think it took longer to get through the security than it did to do the meeting.
Exactly. So just prepare all your documentations and then believe that you will get it, and praying for your Form I-130. If you happen to arrive in this part of the video, please consider to give us a like, share, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Powerful Couple Journey, where we share to you our immigration process, and especially for those teachers seeking for their waiver. And we are having this J1 waiver bundle that we have for those that are seeking or looking for templates to do it themselves. We are here to help you. Please comment down below if you have any other questions. Please also make sure you have that notification bell. That way you will be notified on our next upcoming videos. Thank you so much. God bless and have a great day.
See you guys.